Good morning, my dear students and friends. Myself, Dr. Abhikant Pathak, and I'm going to start your video lecture class. In the last video lecture, we have talked about the alimentary canal, and in this video lecture, we will talk about the histology of alimentary canal. And you know very well, so alimentary canal generally made up of the four different layers. Outermost is the serosa, and then muscularis, then submucosa, and innermost layer is the mucosa. So if we'll say the wall of alimentary canal from esophagus to rectum, the wall of alimentary canal. So here you can read the wall of alimentary canal from esophagus to rectum possesses four layers. Outermost serosa, then muscularis, then submucosa, and mucosa is the innermost layer. If we'll see the serosa, serosa is also known as the peritoneum. This is also known as the peritoneum. It is the outermost layer and it is made up of a thin mesothelium. Mesothelium is epithelium of visceral organ. That means you can say squamous epithelium. And which type of squamous epithelium? That means simple squamous epithelium. And they also have the some connective tissue. Then second is the muscularis, and this muscularis is formed by the smooth muscles. In this figure you can see easily. So they have the made up of smooth muscles. Okay, and if you see this muscularis, they have also two different layer. First is the outermost is the longitudinal and inner is the circular. Why we are saying longitudinal? Because you can see the section, cross section arrangement. So here you can see in this section they have the possess longitudinal arrangement. And in case of the inner circular, so they forms like this. They forms like this arrangement. So this is considered as a inner circular and outer longitudinal. Everywhere throughout from rectum to esophagus, everywhere it have the only two layer is muscularis region, except the stomach. Except the stomach. If we'll say in the stomach, so outermost is the longitudinal, then middle is the circular, and innermost they have one special type which is known as the oblique muscles. Okay, and these are basically made up of the smooth muscles. Okay, so if we'll read this thing, so muscularis is formed by the smooth muscles usually arranged into the inner circular layer and outer longitudinal layer. So with the help of figure you can easily understand. Okay, so next in duodenum, if we'll see what is explaining next statement. In duodenum, glands are also present in the submucosa. So it is saying in the submucosa, this submucosa generally made up of the connective tissue, and they have the some glands which is also found in the submucosa region. Okay, and the innermost lining I had already told, innermost lining is also known as mucosa. Okay, and these innermost lining generally they have the innermost lining, they have the that is known as the lumen. Okay, and it is the alimentary canal of the mucosa. So it means you can say innermost layer lining the lumen. So what you can say, mucosa generally forms innermost layer lining of the lumen. Lumen means that is the coelom, you know very well. So coelom, that is the cavity. Clear? So innermost lining generally formed by the mucosa. Okay, and here this layer forms the irregular folds. If we'll check the mucosa, this form the irregular folds in the stomach, and this structure is called the rugae. In case of the stomach, this irregular folding is known as the rugae. Same irregular folding it is found finger like folding. Sorry, in case of the irregular stomach is the irregular folding, but in case of the intestine, in case of the small intestine, they have the finger like folding like this. So they have the finger like structure. So they have the finger like structure, and this structure is called the villi. This structure is called the villi. And these villi, they have also numerous small like this. So you can see in the figure. So this is the villi. Suppose that this is the villi, and they have the small. So here is small structure which is known as the microvilli. Okay, so it means you can say this layer means mucosa. So mucosa, it is the irregular folds. Where it found in the stomach. So this structure is known as rugae. But when when finger like folding found in the small intestine, then form a special type structure which is known as the villi. And what is the function of villi? So here the cells lining the villi produce numerous microscopic projection. If we'll see on the villi, on the body of villi, they forms the lining the villi they lining the villi produce numerous microscopic projection. Here you can say they have the numerous microscopic projection, and this structure is called the microvilli, and giving a brush border appearance. If you see, so they appears like brush. So due to this, it is known as the brush border appearance. Okay. So now here you can say next one, these modification increase the surface area enormously. Okay, so these modification increase the surface area enormously. What means of this? Because you know very well, so more surface area they involves in the maximum metabolic activity generally performed by the cells. And you already studied one theory which is that given for the why cells have the spherical in shape, because you know cells have the tendency, so cell protoplasm fluid, they have tendency to occupy more surface area and less volume. Due to this tendency, they acquire the spherical shape. Okay, so here the basic function of villi. So here this villi, what is the basic function? It involves in the, this is the modification and increase the surface area enormously. And you know very well, so in the small intestine, they also, this villi also involves in the absorption of the fat. So this is also very important role of the villi. Okay, here you can say villi are supplied, they are supplied with the network of capillaries. If you see, so they have the small this, that means different capillaries as well as artery and vein. And one a large, they have the large lymph vessel which is known as the lacteal. So here you can see they have the large lymph vessel which is known as the lacteal. Okay, so next one, mucosal epithelial. If you see, so next one what it have given, mucosal epithelial has goblet cells. Okay, goblet cells, you know, that involves in the secretion of mucus. Okay, it generally involves in the secretion of mucus. Okay, so goblet cell, it involves in the secretes of the mucus. And what is the function of mucus? It helps in the lubrication. Okay, in the figure you can see easily what it have given. So here they have given the artery and vein. This is the lymphatic vessel. This lymphatic vessel is also known as lacteal. And they have the villi. And these villi have the small aperture which is known as the microvilli. Okay, if you see the inner layer which is known as the they have given other under name lamina propria. Okay, lamina propria, and they have given the epithelium. Clear? They have muscularis mucosa and mucosal gland. Here some mucosal gland, and innermost layer, that is the mucosa. Here it is showing. If you see, so this is the finger. This is the finger-like projection. This is known as the villi. And if you see the villi, so they have the small projection which is the appears like brush. Okay, which is appears like brush. So this is the found in case of the innermost layer which is known as the mucosa. Okay, mucosa also forms a glands. Okay, mucosa also forms a glands in the stomach, and that is known as the gastric glands. You know, we have already discussed stomach have the three different types of the glands. First is called the glands, means that is three different types of the cells. Peptic cells are chief cells which secretes the pepsin enzyme, and second is the augmentic cells, parietal cells or delomorpha cells which secretes the HCl as well as intrinsic factor. And next one, that means here saying next one is the mucus cells or goblet cells which involves in the secretion of mucus. Okay, so here stomach, so this mucosa also forms the a gland in the stomach. Where it will form? It form in the stomach. Okay, this is known as the gastric glands. And Krypts in the lubricant, and they have the Krypts between the bases of villi in the intestine which is known as the Krypts of the lubricant. So they also form the Krypts. Krypts means that is cavity like structure, so it means Krypts. And where it found? Bases of villi in the small intestine. This is known as the Krypts of the leibrkuhn. Okay, now here you can see this is the figure serosa, then muscularis, then submucosa and mucosa. So these four different layer representing by this figure. Okay, so now we will see next point what it have given. All the four layers, if you see what it have given, all the four layers show this means you can say this is a layer, alimentary canal. So alimentary canal, every layer they show the modification. Okay, they generally show the modification in different parts in different parts of the alimentary canal. Clear? So this is generally shown. So it means you can say this is the internal structure of internal means that means histology. Okay, histology of the alimentary canal. And so here they have also some different explanation. Then also they have given the figure. Okay, so now we are going to finish. Okay, so we are going to finish your class, and thank you for your patience and cooperation, and I'm also expecting with you kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon for regular updates. So thank you again.